book lovers, it's Jenny at Julia Baby Jen's Reading Room, and this is Friday Reads for January 24th. And when the sun goes down, I'm headed home again. Well, hello everyone! It's been forever since I put up a video. I think back in November, maybe, might be my last video, so it's been a long time. I actually have not been reading as much as I normally do the last few weeks. I kind of got into a little bit of a book slump, and I think it just had to do with the weather, and I just kind of felt like blah all the time and didn't have a lot of energy even for reading. I was actually watching a lot of TV, which is rare for me. But I have kind of gotten back into it a little bit, and I've been excited about new releases coming out. Plus, I've been to the library and gotten a lot of books. So, and I've gotten a ton of e-arcs from publishers to go through. So, I have a lot of reading to do, probably for the rest of the year. So, yeah, so here's what I'm planning on reading this weekend. Sorry if I sound like I have a frog down my throat. I think I do. So, the e-arc I'm planning on tackling this weekend is Indelible by Dawn Metcalf, which is the first book in the Twix series, and I don't really know a lot about it. I know there's a lot of people were reviewing it, so that's why I requested it, and I like the cover a lot. And it looks interesting, but I've heard mixed reviews. Some people have absolutely loved it and told me that they loved it, and other people said they didn't. So I really don't know what to expect reading this one, but I have a ton of e-arcs to read. This one I actually is kind of old. I got it a long time ago. So if I don't really like it or I'm not really into it, I probably will drop it and move on to something else. I'm going to get kind of ruthless on my e-arcs because I have so many, and so I'm going to try to really concentrate on the ones I really, really want to read. And this is one that I really did want to read, and that's why I'm going to read it, or try to read it. I normally am not a do not finish unless I really can't stand the book, and I've had one this year that I had to do not finish an e-arc that I was really looking forward to, and it was so silly. I'm not even going to talk about it. But so I will try this book and hopefully I like it. And then my friends and I are doing a Buddy Read of Starters. I've already read this book. This is a reread for me. I actually bought it as an ebook, but I was in the library yesterday and they had it, so I just picked it up because I like to hold the book. So I grabbed this too. Starters was my very first NetGalley book that I ever read. And I really liked it. It took me a while to get through, if I remember right, when I was reading it. But a lot of that was formatting issues. Like the e-arc that I got wasn't formatted very well. So it was kind of like hard to read at times because parts of the sentences would, and like you go a page and like it'd have like two sentences that'd be like really, really, really tiny and you could hardly read them, and then you go to the next page, it'd be normal again. So it was just really bad formatting, which sometimes happens with e-arcs. I haven't had that many that I've had problems with, but this one, that was what kind of, I think, really kind of ruined the read for me, although I loved the end of it. So, I read this in like March of 2012, I think was when it hit NetGalley, and it's been forever for the sequel to come out. And Enders just came out, so my friends are reading it so they can read Enders. And I decided I would reread it because it's been almost 2 years since I read it, and I don't remember a lot. So, I'm about 30% through it right now, and I'm loving it, loving the reread, so I will probably speed right through this baby. And then the library book I would like to read this weekend, I don't know if I'll get it done, is Impossible by Nancy Werlin. My friend today in Jen's library, Jen, had read this and liked it, and it sounded really interesting, and then I just happened to go in the library that same day that I watched her video, and it was there. So I'm like, oh, that's a sign, I need to read it. So I picked it up, and I also have the sequel to read too if I like this one. And then the final book I will try to read this weekend is Deadly Little Secret by Lori Faria Stolarz. She is going to be on my I say mine, it's not really mine. The group that I'm a mod of, David Estes fan group and YA Book Lovers Unite. She will be here next week for a Q&A session, and she has a giveaway planned with the Q&A. So I'll leave a link below if you would like to check it out. We have a ton of authors coming. We just had Susan Dennard on, which was fabulous. So almost I think we have every week booked now through March, with some author coming on our group. So I will leave the link below to the group, and you want to check it out because we have some really good authors coming. But so she's going to be here, and I have read this entire series, and I loved this series. But I haven't read them it's been a while since I've read them. So I found, the only book I own out of this series is Deadly Little Voices, which is the 4th book. I bought it when it came out. The other ones I all read at the library, and I read them like back to back really quick. But this is the first one, and I saw it on Amazon. It was a used book from Thrift Books, which is one of the sellers that I buy a lot of used books from because they're cheap and they come quickly, and I've never been disappointed with their service. But anyway, I grabbed this. It was a penny plus shipping. It was like $4 with shipping, so that's pretty good for a hardcover. It's a little used up, but it's okay. So I'm going to reread this hopefully this weekend. If I don't get it done this weekend, I'll read it Monday or Tuesday. Just so I'm kind of fresh on the characters and everything, so I can ask her questions, because I love this series. And if you haven't read this series, I really recommend it. It's kind of a paranormal mystery, and the girl, the main character, has a psychic ability, basically, and it doesn't really come to light so much in the first one. It really comes big in the second one. But in this one, she meets a boy who has a psychic ability, and basically her life is in danger, and he's able to tell that just by touching her. So it's really interesting series, and I really, really loved it. There's 5 books, and they're all really quick reads and so much fun. So I really recommend this series. I really loved it. It's one of my favorite YAs. And, so that's what I'm reading this weekend. As far as what's going on, I work later today. Tomorrow, this is supposed to be my weekend off, but one of my coworkers is really sick. She has influenza A, really bad case of it. She was in the hospital. They gave her Tamiflu, that new drug that's supposed to help with the flu, and she had an allergic reaction to it. So she, it was pretty serious. They rushed her by ambulance to the hospital, but she's okay. Luckily, she came out of it fine, and they don't think there's any long-term effects, so she got really lucky there. But anyway, she obviously will not be at work for a while, so I've been filling in, and I'm filling in Saturday night to help out. So I do have to work Saturday, but I'm off Sunday, so it's okay. And I don't mind coming and helping. I mean, when someone's that sick, someone's that sick. I mean, obviously, you can't be at work. And then tomorrow morning, we're doing a volunteer day, our family. We try to volunteer 4 times a year at least, somewhere in the communities. And tomorrow it is going to be in Boone, and it is the Lions Club, their pancake fundraiser, which is at the fairgrounds. So that's a really fun one. And then they give us pancakes too. We get to eat pancakes for helping. So anyway, that's what we're doing this weekend. Working and that, and then other than that, probably reading and cleaning my house because it's a mess. So I hope everyone has a good weekend. I will talk to you later. Bye. I'm gonna edit the crap out of that video. Oh my god, 15 minutes talking about what? What was I talking about?